Hey, welcome back with Break Bread with Arthur. Today we are making New York style pizza. So you know we're jumping right into it. So I'm preparing my yeast. I'm gonna add a little bit of yeast, a little bit of warm water, and also a little sugar. And you're gonna let that come up until it starts getting all bubbly and just give it a little mix. It takes about 3 to 5 minutes or so. Once you see those bubbles coming through, you know that it's called blooming process. Alrighty, so it started to bloom. I'm gonna go ahead and add 2 cups of warm water. I'm gonna go ahead and add the rest of my sugar. And we're gonna go ahead and add in some olive oil. And then we're gonna add in a little kosher salt as well. And then we're gonna go ahead and add in that flour. And pretty much as you can see, we are making our dough. So you guys go ahead and give that a great mix. If you have a mixer, kudos to you. Even faster process. I do not have one, so this will all be manually done. So pull the gun show out. You're definitely gonna need your muscles on this one. Mix it all together. Alrighty, so I have my dough. Definitely want to keep adding flour as you go because it gets really sticky. So you don't want a whole lot, just keep adding as you go, and just pretty much at this point you're going to knead the dough really good over and over until you get a nice big ball. My ball was kind of ugly, but it doesn't have to be perfect. Then you need a bowl and go ahead and pre-oil it, and then you're going to mix your dough all together in there, get it real good. And you want to use some plastic wrap. I used the top and it popped off, so you can just lightly tighten it with some plastic wrap there. Alrighty, so we're gonna move on to making our sauce. These are San Marzano tomatoes. These are the best, most authentic ones you can find. So you just want to pull those tomatoes off and drain off that other juice that's just sitting in there. You don't need that. So I'm gonna add a little bit of sugar, flavor it up, and we're gonna add some oregano, dried, and a little bit of olive oil. And I'm gonna use my little blend mixer on this one. And this is just setting up that base of that New York style pizza. Sugar is one of the main components that they do use in there with oregano to get that really authentic flavor. I do not live in New York City, so they say it's something about the water that makes theirs really good, so we'll see. So here I have some whole milk, mozzarella, low moisture cheese. Just getting it all nice and sliced. You can have some big slices and small slices. So I did let that sit for 24 hours when it came to my dough. So this is a day later. It is ready to go. So now I'm preparing my pie crust. And you want to lightly do the outsides and just start forming that shape. You can use a wine ball if you do not have a roller. In my case, I do not have a roller. And you just want to kind of get it really wide and long, how the New York style pizza is. Once again, if you're doing this at home in a conventional oven, it will not be a huge big slice, unfortunately. But hey, I try to stretch my dough as wide as I could to get as close as possible. Have some little fancy tricks there and try to see like I knew what I was doing in the actual pizzeria. I just want to keep flipping that dough till it gets as thin as possible. Just tossing it around. As you can see, the more I toss it, the more I thin it out. It starts getting real thin and spread itself out. Alright, so now you want to act fast. Make sure you flour your board before you add your dough because it will stick. This was like the toughest thing there. So I went ahead and added my sauce. Nice little circle rings there. New York style pizza. Through my research, I noticed they do add mozzarella cheese. Just grate it right before you add the big cheese there. Just kind of helps enhance the flavor of the pizza. So here I am just grating it up with some Parmesan cheese. And then now I'm bringing out the big dogs with their low moisture whole milk cheese that's just gonna melt in, super yummy. I could have did this as a cheese pizza only, to be honest with you, but I am a pepperoni guy. Gotta have that super greasy street New York pizza. So hey, Here is that pepperoni all over. My favorite topping on pizza, hands down. Let me know what your favorite topping is in the comments. All right, so my oven, it has been preheated at 500 degrees, whatever the max your conventional oven goes to, 500, 550. But it did that for an hour on my pizza stone. That's very important to be able to get that nice under bottom crust. So as you can see, here's my stone. It is smoking hot. I'm throwing a little cornmeal on there just to make sure the pizza does not stick, because this part got really hard for me just transferring it right to the stone. So I'm gonna shake it on there. As you can see, lost some cheese and immediately it got caught on fire. So I had to straighten it out. A little bit too much went over the edge, but there it is. She made it. Woo! 10 minutes later, look at that nice, crispy pizza. There it is, my friends. New York style pizza in a conventional oven. It can be done. All right, y'all, so I'm finished. I've done the New York style pizza. It's not as big as you would see on the street of New York because I am using a home conventional oven. However, I promise you that all the authentic flavors are there, so it's only one way to tell if I let them down or not. It's time to taste. So I'm gonna throw a little crushed pepper on there. Gotta have a little spice. Then I'm gonna have a little bit of my Parmesan cheese. And you know you gotta fold the pizza. Here we go. You gotta do it. That's all I gotta say. You gotta do it. New York style pizza, authentic. I'm out. Break bread with Arthur. Keep watching.